Hello YouTube, welcome to your 12th PHP video tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to be going over functions. So what exactly is a function? Well, a function is basically code that you will be reusing over and over. For example, say you have a website, and in this website you have, I don't know, places where your gold is displayed, for example. And say your gold is displayed in different places on that site, on the same page or on separate pages. Well, what if displaying gold took a bunch of code? What if it took, I don't know, let's say 30 lines of code? Well, you don't want to have to rewrite that 30 lines of code over and over and over and over, do you, just to display the gold? That way you would put it inside of a function, and you would just call the function. So you would just call that, and it would represent 30 lines of code. So you're probably wondering how this works. Well, a function is really easy. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type function and let PHP know you're calling a function. So you would type function, and then you would name the function something that reflects what the function is going to be about, something similar to what the function is going to do. So here we're going to have display gold, and actually I like to capitalize the first one. So now we're going to have display gold, but now we have to have places for our parameters. Now we're not going to go over our parameters just yet, so we're just going to leave this blank. And now we have two brackets, and of course the brackets are, the scope of this function. So everything inside of here is going to be inside of the scope of this function, or inside of this world, inside of this function world. So that means if I were to come up here, for example, let me explain scope a little bit. Say I set a variable in here, and I set the variable to hi, and I set it equal to hi. Now, I could not come out here and echo hi. I would get an error. It would not work, because this hi is inside of this world, and this hi is inside of a different world. So that's just a little demo of how scope works. You guys, if you've been following along, you've probably played around with PHP yourself and found out how scope works. I didn't really give a full explanation on it, but I plan on going back and making a video, maybe calling it X.5, so that people make sure they watch this before watching the other video. I don't remember what video we covered if else is for, so that's just a different story. So we have our function. Let's get back on track. We have our function, and all we're going to do is we're going to echo. Of course, it would be more in depth, but this is just for an example. We would echo, you have 40 gold. Now, what if we wanted to, actually, for example, let me show you what would happen. If we were to just go to the page right here and refresh, we would get nothing, because we haven't done anything except for initiated a function. We want to call that function, we would simply say echo, and then display gold. And we refresh, and we get, you have 40 gold. So what it does is it takes everything inside of here, and you just have to call the function name, and it will do the function for you. Very simple, very easy. Now we're going to talk about the parameters of a function. So let's talk parameters. Okay. Now let's say you want to what's a good example? Let's say you want to have PHP give a greeting to whatever username is typed in. Well, you're going to pass a variable in here. And what this is saying is that there's going to be a variable called name. Now, the variable called name is not set yet, nor will it be set inside of the function. It's going to be set when the function is called. And I will go over this, and you will see exactly what I mean. But we're still going to use it before it's been called. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean. We're going to say greetings name. Now we're going to go ahead and echo this, and I'm going to show you that it does not work. And just to be kind of a little bit more proper here, we're going to use a space. It's just because I'm a little picky with my conventions, but okay. Now, as you can see, we get display gold. Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of confused myself there a little bit. It's a function, not a string. As you can see, we get an error here. undefined constant. Oh my god, I am just not. Today's just not my day. Okay, there we go. Okay, what we get is we get missing argument for display gold, undefined variable name. That is because we have not defined that variable name yet. And what we do is we're going to define that variable as we call it. So we're going to go in here, and now we're going to define that variable. So we're going to define that variable as Tony. Okay? And now we get greetings, Tony. Now, we can call as many parameters as we want. So say we want another parameter, you would simply separate the parameters by a comma. So let's make another one. Let's do another name. So now we have greetings name and hello, another name. So now that we have two parameters, we want to set the other parameter. So let's do that. With the same thing, we're going to have a comma, and we're going to have Kenny. And let's see what we get. Greetings, Tony, and hello, Kenny. So, to go over this again, we're setting up our function with function. Then we're setting up with the function name. And then we're setting up the function parameters. Okay, function name, function parameters, and then in here we're going to have code to be executed. Okay, so that is how a function works. Now we're going to talk about the last thing in a function that I want to talk about, which is returning data. But before we do that, let's make one more function so that we can try to understand a little bit better. Let's make a adding function. And we'll call this add, and we'll say this. We'll say num1 and num2, and we'll have num1 plus num2. Okay. Now let's echo. Sorry. Go 10 and 15. So now we have a function called add, and inside we have two parameters we want set, number 1 and number 2, and inside the code we have echo number 1 plus number 2. So let's see what we get. And we get 25. All it did was add them together. Very simple, very easy. Now we're going to go over another part of a function, and what a function is called returning. So thank you guys for watching. This has been your 12th PHP video tutorial on functions. If you have any questions, make sure you comment, send me a private message. If not, I hope you guys understood how this works. Very easy, very simple. This has been DontRTFM with your 12th PHP video tutorial. Please make sure you comment, you thumbs up, and you subscribe. It helps me, guys. It helps me more than you guys know. I will catch you guys next time on the 13th tutorial. Bye.